Hi everyone. A small quick video summary on the book 2030. In the book 2030, how today's biggest trends will collide and reshape the future of everything. The author is Mauro Guglielmo. We get informed predictions of where today's trends will put us by the year 2030. Using a range of current demographic and sociological trends along with any new technological advancements, the author gives a convincing portrait of what the next decades holds for our world. Some predictions include drastic demographic change because of low birth rates, increased middle class, increased female wealth, climate change that will affect city life, and exciting technological advancements. His detailed predictions will give you a great resource for preparing for the exciting and not so excited changes coming in our way in the next decade. Here are the three most insightful lessons about the future of this book. Number one, our world will never be the same again because of declining birth rates. In 2030, women will have more than half of the world's wealth. Number three, cryptocurrency will continue to rise in popularity. And by 2030, we might tap into its full potential. Let us hop into DeLorean and the head of the future. 2030, have we come? The lesson number one. Declining birth rates are making our world change permanently. A little more than 50 years ago, many people were worried about prospect of overpopulation. With the declining birth rates, this is not as much a concern for most people. The author argues that we should be worried about in the next decade is actually the opposite, a baby drought. Since the 1970s, US women have, on an average, had a fewer than 2 kids each. So basically, we don't even have enough children to replace the current generation at the current rate. Why does this matter? Some people might say that this could be a good thing because of our planet's limited resources. However, the economic system we have is reliant on the next generation if you are going to take care of our elderly. Their taxes are desperately needed to help foot the bill for the aging generation's pensions. The reason the birth rate has declined dramatically is that there are more women in the workforce. So what it means to us? What is the impact? Because those women are actively working, they are more likely to wait until they are established in their career or in the field before having children. They are becoming more career oriented. Because fertility drops with the age, they tend to have fewer children if they decide to start a family. But that is not the only reason. The people are also having less sex. The Archives of Sexual Behavior published a study that found that in the 2010s, Americans have sex 9 times less per year on average than the 1990s. Why? Part of this has to do with the fact that technology means we now have many more enjoyable distractions in our homes. Sex is just one enjoyable thing we can choose from to do it in an evening or a night. But not every country is experiencing this drastic decline in birth rates. There is currently a population boom in sub-Saharan Africa. The author says this will have two effects in the next decade. Because this part of the continent relies on imported food, markets for food, and developing agriculture in this area will become a more than $1 trillion economy. Second, Western nations might have to change stances on immigration because they might need to bring in immigrant workers from this area to care for and fund the huge growth in retirees. Key takeaway 2, women will have 50% of the world's wealth by 2030. One major change coming in 2030 is that women will hold more than half the world's wealth for the first time. Right now, women in the workplace face some big challenges when it comes to wealth advancement. Many women are also primary caregivers to children and the family members. We all know that. When she is a primary caregiver, a woman often loses a few years of work, which means missing out on salary advances that male counterparts enjoy. But the good news for working women is that the pool of qualified workers will shrink thanks for the combination of low birth rates and aging population. The change means that businesses will start relying on working caregivers more than they ever have. All of us know about Gallup's. Gallup polls reports that we are increasingly ready for this shift in working women. A recent poll shows we are more positively disposed toward women who hold positions of power than ever. Increased number of working women and women in leadership positions mean women will have more wealth than ever in the coming decade. With this change comes the change in global spending. All of us know women spend more than the men. Drawing from research on female spending habits, the author predicts this change will mean we will see increases in spending on education, beauty, healthcare, and insurance. Typically, women have been bigger spenders in this area. When it comes to investments, women will likely to go for safer investments such as index funds. Key takeaway 3, in the next few years, cryptocurrency influence will rise. As technology moves forward, money is also changing because people are increasingly comfortable with more abstract forms of money. The next potential revolution is money is cryptocurrency. While Bitcoin might seem a little bit too long fringe of your average person, by 2030, the author predicts cryptocurrency will become the mainstream. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin work completely online through a peer-to-peer system. Bitcoin is not associated with any government or even any bank. All transactions are available online for the public. They are shown on the public record called a blockchain. Each block is recorded transactions, and they are all strung together to make an encrypted blockchain. The blockchain's code means it cannot be tampered with because it would be immediately known. This makes the world's most secure form of currency. Even though it comes from a solid technology, people are still mostly sticking to the bank accounts rather than switching to crypto. Transformation is always uncomfortable. It is understandable since its valuation is always fluctuating all over the place. But remember, blockchain technology has a huge potential to revolutionize money as we know it. It would mean no more middlemen to process transactions and no more money controlled by banks, financial institutions, or governments. It could also help us in be more ethical in our spending. An example of this, Dexico, an app that uses a blockchain to track diamond transactions so consumer can avoid buying blood diamonds. This technology could also make e-voting more secure as well as decrease online piracy. This is one of our many ways of cryptocurrency could completely change money as we know it. Well, if only we can finally embrace it. But this will happen by 2030. I love speculating about the future. So naturally, I really enjoyed reading this book 2030. The great thing about this book is that it is not just guessing, but the author has the information on current trends in the society. I can't wait to see how things actually shake out over the next few years. I love one of the quotes by the author. He says, breakthroughs occur not when someone works within the established paradigm, but when assumptions are abandoned, rules are ignored, and creativity runs amok. I hope you enjoyed this summary. Happy learning, happy knowing, and happy application. Thank you very much for watching.